Oh, we're back on to the 1989 Vogue SE 3.9. Let's see if we can get this thing forwards a few steps. Let's test this alternator. So this is the alternator that was shredding belts. I've connected up, obviously, earth to battery to body, positive to big terminal on back, then to the ignition warning light. I've just connected a jump lead, and I've got a light in the circuit. So in theory, and if I work two-handed, I connect up the circuit for the light. Where's the wire? There's the wire. We end up with an ignition warning light. Okay, so now in theory, if I rotate this fast enough in a clockwise direction, the light should go off. So we will do that. Doesn't need a lot for the light to go off. However, the alternator is actually drawing voltage. Right, so we've got to 12.5. Now the problem is, that if I go too berserk, if I put the full load on this, you can hear the ratchet kicking in on the gun. Now that's quite a strong ratchet on that chappy there. So if I disconnect the excite wire and wind it now. Now, you will always get load on these things when they excite, but I think that's putting way too much load, and also it's not putting enough voltage out. So in essence, we've just got a fucked alternator here. This is an A127 Magneti Morelli jobby, which I think is for the slightly later Range Rover, but we'll see. I thought it was supposed to be the 133s on these. But anyway, it's not performing. It was working fine. It's no longer working fine. I suspect that just sitting around in my yard waiting for my attention has rendered it somewhat fucked. But yeah, that's not ideal, is it? Middle of September. Let's get this thing back together again. I need to do a load more work on it. So I connected up the heater pipes first and foremost. Now, if anyone's tried to work with these EFI heater pipes that come off and go into this metal double piping, you'll know that that pipe there is nowhere near big enough to fit on there. So what I do is I get these reducers. So I think I'll measure them up in a second, but I think one end is 17 and the other is 15. I just don't like stretching these old pipes that much over this metal pipe here. They really do stretch out too far. So as you will have already seen, exhaust has gone back on again, engine starts up, runs beautifully. It wasn't running beautifully, and then I found out it was running out of petrol, and the petrol in there was probably about 2 years old. So I've lobbed some fresh fuel in there, and it starts up and runs quite happily now. I've reassembled the gear stick surrounds. I've sorted out the Rogue earth to the starter solenoid. I haven't fitted it back up in place again. It's that one that's hanging down there. So that still needs to be put back up, you noisy bugger. That's up there. Couple of observations when I started it up and warmed it up. First and foremost, the EFI warning light on the dash is coming on, you bastard. The oil pump was leaking. I tightened up the bolts on that. I don't quite understand why it was leaking, but it was leaking. The alternator I managed to fix by taking it apart, cleaning all the contacts up, reassembled it, and it works. So the alternator is putting out 13.8 volts now rather than 12.6 I think I did on the video. I don't know if I videoed it or not, but I tested it on the bench and it was putting out 12.6 volts. So took it all apart, cleaned all the contacts up, put it back on again, 13.8 volts again, and it's working beautifully. So when it came to the EFI warning lights, changed the airflow meter and the engine instantly ran a lot better. This is a 3AM, Lucas 3AM. put a 5 AM on it from my stash, and it worked beautifully. And then I thought, great, that's fixed that. Airflow meter must just need a bit of a service or a clean out. And then the light came back on again. So I was just thinking, I was talking to the customer, and while I was talking to the customer, I was looking around on the top of the engine, and I thought, well, that doesn't look right, does it? So the breather pipes from the engine to the plenum are absolutely and utterly shot, all of them. And then you'll notice that all the belts are off it again. Why are all the belts off it, Richard? Because when I filled the cooling system up, there's coolant dripping out from this end. The water pump runs up to here, dripping out from this end. So there's coolant dripping out from the gasket on the water pump. Oh, you bastard. And then just to make life just that extra special bit amusing, the automatic gearbox cooler has also sprung a leak pretty much about here, with a pinhole in it. So when I'm running it, it's just dripping oil out all the time. Most of it's over there. So I'm going to find another one of those. Oh, it's a pain in the arse. Nothing's ever bloody easy, is it? So I'm going to get this water pump off next, which means I need to get the bracket off for the power steering pump. Then the hose, and then hopefully all of these bolts are going to behave, and then the water pump can come off. New gasket, put it all back together again. It's been sitting out here in the swimming pool for too damn long. And the biggest issue I've got with this at the moment is that the water is just pouring through the sunroof, such that the gear selector now has an ice rink in it. So I'm going to get this out in the workshop. Let's see if we can't get it started, which would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm dressed like a bin man because it's freezing. See if it starts. What? Yeah. Right, have we got ignition? We have. First and foremost, because you're going to be in the way otherwise. I don't want to run my camera over. We get that filled up with scalpings. Part of the reason for moving this is so I can talk to the builder about getting that done. Now we've got a few issues in here. We heard it start up nicely. The EFI warning light is on. The gear selector has an ice rink in it. The headlining is dripping wet. And I really want to get this into the workshop so I can see if I can get the sunroof open and work out what is going on with this. Start putting this car back together again. The engine sounds quite sweet though. This is the one I did the oh, it's freezing today. So flipping cold. Oh, it's a sweet sounding engine, isn't there? Oh yeah. Right, I really want to turn this round. which means going out there and reversing round, and then I want to go nose into the workshop, because ideally I want to be able to run this in here. If I'm going to run this in here, then I need the exhaust pointing out there. Right, I'll do that. I think first and foremost is work out why the it's almost like it's got a front spring on the back, isn't it? I'll look at that in a second. This is sat beautifully level for God knows how long. Now look at it, it's got a bit of a jaunty angle over towards the right hand side. Never noticed it before. Mind you, the car's never been in the workshop before. It's been largely outside. Well, that explains what that noise is down there. Exhaust is touching rear wing. That's all okay. Yeah, we need to get all this sorted out, don't we? Get it back together again. Well, there's an interesting one for you. These are aluminium, as is that front piece. So what we've got here is one of the very first concealed bonnet hinge bonnets, and the ribs, because these are aluminium on the exposed bonnets, as is that. That's a bit of a rarity, isn't it? Bonnet steel. Good, oh, excellent. Right, okay, now it does mean I can't support the light. So let me whiz the light round. The main thing I'm looking to change here is this breather. So you can see it is absolutely fallen apart. It's not even connected anymore, and I've got new breathers to go on. That could be all it needs. What I might have to do is get a different light in here. Let's get rid of this one because it's just going to get in my way and shine in my face, which is no use to me. Nor man, nor beast. I do love a James light though. Right, now, that can go back in there. Now, interestingly, there were no error codes at all in Rovergauge. I've replaced the pipes and that EFI warning light's gone out. I've also just noticed we've got no petrol in this thing whatsoever, so I probably need to go and get a gallon of petrol and lob it in there. Now, the pipes themselves, they're dead easy. So the T-piece has got a little restrictor in it, like that. You can buy all the bits brand spanking new. So there's the long pipe, ERR4762. There's the little bendy pipe that goes down from the T-piece to the side of the plenum, ERR4764. Then we've got the short bendy pipe that goes from the T-piece to the inlet. ERR4763, and lastly the T-piece complete with the restrictor ERR4765. The G I think just means it's original equipment, OEM. So there you go, it's sorted. I think having done that, what I want to do next, before I run this thing out of petrol, is sort this sunroof out. I'm gonna have to dig into getting it open. I also want to put all of this under dash equipment back in. I don't know if you remember, let's turn off. I don't know if you remember, but a very long time ago, I was having problems with the starter solenoid, or starter relay. Let me put the teeth in. Starter relay. There's a missing wheel nut down there as well. Starter relay. The earth, which goes via the ECU, doesn't go via the ECU, Richard. We'll do that bit again. So I don't know if you remember, a long time ago in this particular project, the earth wire that goes from the starter relay, which is dangling down over there somewhere, goes to the automatic gearbox interlock, so that when you are in, turn ignition on, when you are in Rovergauge, it tells you whether you're in park or neutral. And if I go to reverse, it tells me I'm in drive or reverse. And from that, I could tell that the interlock was working, but the connection that went from the relay to the interlock was bad. So I cleaned up the connectors, and that fixed that. And sweet. For some reason though, the speedo's resting at 12 miles an hour. That's interesting, isn't it? I wonder why it does that. Ignition off, ignition on. That's a weird one for you folks. Oh look, fucking warning lights come back on again. Oh, you bastard. Right, so it tells me on here, management light is on. I don't think in this it tells me why the light is on. So if I go back to options, show fault codes, there are no fault codes. Clear codes. I'll need to look, let's close that down. Fuel map seems pretty good. I'll go through all of the settings on this. It's pointless me videoing all this. So idle bypass looks good. RPM's good. Voltage off the alternator is brilliant. Oh, that's annoying. Literally, all I did was turn it off, replace those cables, replace those pipes, I should say, put it back on again, and that was it. And there we go, not fixed it. Fucker. Bastard. Right. Couldn't make this shit up really, could you? Oh dear, oh dear. Pesky thing. Right. Turn the ignition off and back on again, and off and on again, and off and on again, and eventually the warning light goes out. As far as the speedo is concerned, well, it tells me here road speed 0. So there is no road speed. So I think there's either a fault with an earth circuit somewhere here, and I'm going to go through and just double check all of these earth sections. So there's big earth underneath the seat here, there's an earth against each of the A posts, there's an earth circuit that goes to the top of the inner wing down there, and another one here, and then there's earth at the back of the car. So it's possible that one of these earth connectors has gone rogue on us. I don't know. It wants to be working really though. Now the other thing that's not working on this is the ABS. So I'm just going to go through and read the ABS error codes on this as well. while I'm at it. And then we might need to give it a wash. Poor bloody thing. I washed this in the summer. It's not improved. The situation is not improved. Well, that engine runs sweet. It's just a weird one with that warning light. Everything on here seems to be behaving itself apart from, and I turn the ignition on, so the idle bypass position goes up to 100%, start it, and it drops down to 0%. And according to the ROM, I'll tell you another, oh sorry, Fuel Map 2 is UK non-cat, which is good. But when I look at the idle control stepper value, typically 30 to 50% are idle when warm. Well, there might be a clue there. Might again just be an earth problem. Well, that's what's causing the noise. Right, in here I have taken the steering wheel off first and foremost so I can get in and out of here easily. And then I take the headlining out because it was absolutely dripping wet. Not a little bit wet, dripping wet. Taking it all out, I look at the state of all the tubes and the pipes and everything for the sunroof. I suspect this entire gear is going to be seized up solid, which is why the motor's not responding to anything. Now apparently you can wind this, but I'm wondering if you wind it in the middle of that big nut there. I'll have to get the instructions out to find out how you manually operate the sunroof. Fuck's sake. It's not a little bit wet, it is just, and up here you can see the rainwater is just dripping off these pipes. We need to get this warm in here. So I get out of here again. Going into the back of the car to look at the rear end of the sunroof cartridge. Yeah, it's much the bloody same. I'm actually wondering if I don't just take the entire cartridge out and deal with it on the deck. I'm going to consult with the ROM because it looks like it's just 6 fixings down each side, and then the whole sunroof cartridge comes out inside the car. It might be an easier way of dealing with it. It's not pretty though, is it? Oh, this is turning into fun, as these things often do. Now, I've taken the motor out. The reason I've taken the motor out is because I couldn't get the gearbox to turn on the motor. So I thought, you know what, let's deal with it on the bench. So strictly speaking, what you should be able to do here is put a hex drive into there, and you should be able to wind the motor. Okay, wind the gearbox. But that will go in there beautifully. And then the idea behind that is it will turn that, and that will wind the 2 control cables, which are up here somewhere, hiding up there. So I've then, with everything out, I can get the relay to click, but nothing happens with the motor. So then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to connect the motor up directly to a power supply. Guess what? Nothing. The motor's completely seized. Now I'm just going to take the motor off the gearbox and see if there's anything obvious going on in here. There isn't an awful lot with it, but as you can see, it's all pretty fucking gummed up here. This little micro switch here, I think, is the park sensor. So at the moment it's parked in a down closed mode, and then you got a tilt mode, and then you got reverse mode. That's what this kind of wheel thing does here, I think, on the gearbox. But there's nothing to stop me taking the armature off, I don't think. Well, I've got a motor that doesn't work at the moment. So there really is nothing to lose by taking it apart. Yay! Right, it's not opened though with the motor. I think the motor is toast. However, I put the gearbox back up and I'm able to I might just have to put these screws back in the front here just to hold it in place. The good news is this gearbox is working. Is it gonna tilt? Yes, it is. There goes tilted. I don't know what's happening with the lining on that. There's something happened with the lining on that. Realistically, what I want to do, I think, is get the panel out and see where we're going with it. I'm not convinced that the lining isn't some reason why this has happened. So that's got stuck now. Let's go back, reaching inside, change the orientation. Look at the seal on the other side over there. Something happened, isn't there? Right, let's go round here. So that can come off now. Power probe. I've been using the power probe to try and get... Oh, look. That's probably why it's been leaking. That was hanging out. So, right, if that's the case then it's entirely possible that the sunroof mechanism is good, but the drain holes are leaking. So, let's go back again. So wind the sunroof back. If I can find the control, there it is. Back down. And you can see it's actually, the seal over there has caught. Now, I'm probably going to leave this open in here over the weekend. I'm not going to wind it right the way back, so I want to see what's going on with that curtain. That curtain, I think, should slide backwards and forwards. And it's not. The curtain is absolutely wedged in there solid. Now, I do actually have another solid sunroof panel outside. And it might just be seal. It's all rusty down the front here. Oh no, it's not rusty. That's just sopping wet. Now, also there's telltales of mud and shite here. So I am wondering if a damn good clean of the sunroof tubes, which is a service schedule item anyway, isn't going to fix that. And then finding on the motor. Sunroof motor, please. I'll double check the field windings on it, but I couldn't get any life out of the motor whatsoever. So I've taken the motor off. You access the brush plate, by the way, by just bending those little tabs back, and then the brush plate comes off. Continuity through to the brushes is good. However, we're not getting any continuity through to the armature when I'm winding the armature backwards and forwards. Interesting. Just before the end credits, give me a thumbs up if you liked that. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Mind you, you've got all the way to the end of it, so you probably would have given me a thumbs down by now anyway. Comments down below. All of these things do help to promote the work that I do and promote to YouTube for your benefit. If you want to contact me, churchhouseclassics, it's all one word, @gmail.com. And if you want to support the channel, then there's a PayPal me link scrolling down here. Both my email and the PayPal me link are in the description below this video. And that's my car, still sitting here. I might have to change this feature once it gets back on the road. It'll embarrass me enough into getting this back on the road. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.